All right, welcome back to another session of PelletTech 101. Today we're going to go through replacement of a tadpole gasket on a Quadra-Fire door and glass. So this is off a cast steel. Depending on the age of the model, some units had used a retainer rod, like you see right here, that holds the gasket into place. And then on some of the newer models, there was a tab that was used that folded over the gasket on both of these sides to hold the bulb in place for proper seal to the door. A lot of the newer Quadra-Fire models will use a standard rope style gasket, but we're just going to go through the replacement of the original tadpole gasket in the door where it has retainer rods that are holding that in. So as I get started here, I want some kind of a small tool to be able to place on the rod itself, so I'm able to kind of pound that out with a hammer. On the bottom end of this rod, you will see little prongs right here, so it doesn't allow it to go further. So we're going to push it out from this side. So I'm just literally going to place my tool right here. We're going to give it a couple of taps. Go. And then I can pull that rod right out. We'll do it on this other side. And our second rod is out. So at this point we can actually remove the glass from the door frame itself. So again, the tadpole gasket acts as both the door gasket as well as the glass gasket. As you can see, the glass gasket portion will go all the way along the bottom. However, the bulb gasket does not go across the bottom there. The bottom here is designed as an air wash system, so no bulb on the bottom. Again, you want to look at the model that you have and where the bulb is not in place. There were some units like the Contour and some of the others over various years where the gap was actually at the top for the air wash, where again most were at the bottom. So we just want to kind of pay attention to that. Again, the flat part of the tadpole gasket will go all the way around, but the bulb will only go around three sides, allowing the air wash. So it's just as the stove is in operation, it brings in a little bit of air from the room and rushes across the glass to help keep that glass clean. So as you can see here, the flat part of the gasket is making the seal to the door frame, and then it folds over here. So we need it to fold over enough where we're able to secure that retainer rod back in place. So I'm just going to slowly start peeling this off. Again, as you start seeing a gasket that is getting frays, wear like this, again, we're not getting a great seal, and that can definitely affect our overall combustion and efficiency. So always good practice to be using like a dry paintbrush to brush off the ash that's on the gasket versus the vacuum cleaner nozzle. That'll keep the gasket in good shape for much longer. But yeah, as we start seeing some wear, we're not getting a proper seal to the door. We're starting to see a lazy fire, things like that. We definitely want to inspect the gasket. And obviously if it's frayed or if we have gaps, then it's absolutely time to replace that. So once I have this out of the frame here, I'm just essentially going to peel this off. Now you are working with a fiberglass gasket, so absolutely can't hurt to be wearing some kind of a face protection and hand protection as well if you desire to. Just like that, and our old gasket is completely off. So what we're going to do first before we put the new one on is I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit. I want to get any of this residue that's off of here. So I'm going to grab like an acetone just to clear off some of this old residue so that we can make sure that the new gasket adheres correctly to the glass here. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back. So I did originally try some acetone here. to get that residual residue from the gasket off, but it really didn't seem to make a difference. So I just basically grabbed a tool here where we have a razor blade on the end. And this does a really nice job at removing that old adhesive from the tape part of that bulb gasket. And again, we just want to have the best seal that we can. We don't want that pulling off. So the cleaner that surface is that I'm applying the new gasket to, the better of a stick that we're going to have to that. So that's pretty clean. We're going to grab the other two sides and then we're going to get that gasket prepped and on there. All right, we have now gotten as much of the adhesive off of the glass from the old gasket best we can here, and we're ready to go ahead and put on the new gasket. So I have our 5-foot tadpole gasket kit here. This also comes in a 10-foot kit. We just have kind of a peel off adhesive backing that's on here. So again, we're just going to go through this process. I like to start on one side, work my way around, and we'll go through the steps as we apply it. So the part of the glass that is facing in, that is going to make contact, is where we want the tadpole portion of that gasket to be. Again, the flat spacing of the gasket is really important here because we need to obviously have the flat on this side so the glass makes proper seal to the door frame. However, it's a very minimal amount that we're putting on this side so that we can wrap it over and have enough of the flat gasket on this side where we're able to put back in those retainer bars to make sure the glass stays secured to the door frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this side of the glass. I'm going to start from the top. So I'm just going to line this up to the very top, and I'm only putting about somewhere probably between 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch of the flat gasket on this front side so that we have enough to fold over. Down this way, it's going to give me a better gauge on that. Right, just like that. So that is going to give us enough to fold over here. So I'm just kind of placing one finger here on the back side as I kind of sandwich this over the top. Try to get a good angle here so you guys can see what's going on. So again, just enough coming over here. And again, I probably have this at 1/4 inch, but it's just enough for that glass to make proper seal to the door frame. So we have as much of that flat gasket coming over on the tadpole side as possible. Just like that. Now, as we get up around the corner here, we just kind of want to finesse this around the corner. I'm just going to start a small area there, like that. And then when it goes inside right here, I'm going to do a fold with this tadpole. Like that. So it creates the bulb coming through all the way to the corner here. And again, we're just bringing that over, peeling the adhesive off as we go. And again, using decent force with my thumb right here just to make sure that we're getting a nice seal all the way around, just like that. And I am pulling this pretty taut as well while I am doing this. All the way to the corner. Just gonna flip this down. We're going to finish getting the tadpole over here on this side. Just like that. Go on this side here first. Just enough covering that glass here where we're able to make the seal to the door. So we have as much as possible on the opposing side to be able to put the retainer bars back in. So just like that. I'm going to flip this over. Again, we're going to do a nice fold here. And again, just kind of pinching it here as we go. Just like that. That all looks pretty good. That all looks pretty good. Now as we get to the bottom side right here, we're going to end up cutting off part of it. So really we're just looking to make the seal that's going to go from the glass to the door. The other side where the bulb is, we're actually going to cut that off so that it allows for the air wash system, which I'll show you in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and make this curve over on the bottom side. Like that. And 5 feet is about perfect as we're looking at. This is a door off of Castile. 5 feet is just about perfect for that. And so again, all we're looking for is this seal right here at the bottom. So we're actually going to go ahead and snip off this bulb right here, as we do not need gasket to go here. This is going to be left open so air can be taken through the room and rushed up past the glass to help keep the glass clean. So I'm just going to grab a pair of sharp scissors and we're just going to cut right on the bulb all the way down. And I cut it as tight to the glass as I possibly can. We'll have a little bit of fraying as we cut that bulb off because it is a woven gasket, so we'll finish cleaning that up in just a minute. We're still allowing this tadpole to come all the way down to the bottom of the glass there. Like so. And the tadpole gasket does include some foil tape, so we put a little foil tape on these ends right here just to ensure that it doesn't fray. So we'll go along. Got a little extra on that side there that we're going to trim off. I'm going to look at the front side right here, and again just pulling off any little loose ends here that we have. So from here, we're going to lay that glass back in that door frame and just kind of press in all of the corners here. Make sure that we have it seated inside as much as we can. Just like that. finish cleaning up these final little frays right here at the bottom. And from here, we're going to go ahead and put these retainer rods back into place. So this part can be a little bit challenging, so just have patience with yourself as you do it. So again, the bottom part of the bar will actually have two little prongs on it so that it can't go all the way through. So what I like to do is just kind of start with the top and get it pushed in the hole right there. And then the bottom side, I'm going to push it down as much as I can with my hand. And I'm going to tap it there with a hammer so I can get that lined up into that hole. And it still needs to sink down a little bit there for me to get it. So let me actually try putting in the bottom part of this retainer rod first. Like that. Yeah, no, I need to have it come from the top. So the bottom stops it there. Again, we just want to try to apply as much pressure with our hand. Again, sometimes these can be a bear with the new gasket, so be patient with yourself. There we go. We got it. So again, you can see that right up here at the top and then right down here at the bottom, and that is now secure on this side, and we're going to go ahead and put it in on the other. So just again starting with the top there, and do my best to kind of line that up to the bottom hole. That. Close. This down. Close. We're so close. So close. Get a little of that gasket out of that hole just so I can see. Yeah, we're very close. Very close. Put as much pressure on there as I can. There we go. So patience is the key, but we were able to get it all the way down there, get in top, and that's allowing this to kind of hold and stay in place. We've got the nice tadpole gasket seal, so that's going to give us a nice seal all the way around the doors. We got proper combustion efficiency. Like I said, it does come with a piece of the foil tape here. So, you know, if there's a little end here that's fraying, we can tuck just a little bit of the foil tape on there. And this is a high heat tape, so it stands up against the temperatures and lasts pretty long. You peel off that adhesive backing. Like that. And yeah, just on this little end here, where I see a couple of frays, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap a little piece of foil tape around there like that. I'm going to bring it right to the metal, just like that. Again, just a nice little helper for frays. And I'll grab one more piece, and I'll do it on this side. Like that. Just kind of tucking it up and in there. Good to go. Again, I'm just going to clear out any of these final frays from the bottom. Like I said, by leaving that open, that allows a small gap between the stove and where that is, so a rush of air can come across the glass as an air wash. We're ready to put this door back on the Castile. So again, this is going to be the general overview of replacing a tadpole gasket on a Quadra-Fire stove. Any questions, concerns, please leave us a comment down below. Like I said, only the earlier models will have these retainer bars. Later models had tabs, which we would fold those tabs over to release the glass from the door so we can swap out the gasket. And then the newer Quadra-Fire models for the Santa Fe Castile are going to use a rope gasket all the way around. So make sure you double check your gasket type before you replace it. Again, any questions as you go through the installation process, leave us a comment. We're always here. We're always happy to help. Thanks again for joining us for another session of PelletTech.